that was jogging in Georgia and all that, and two white people, father and son, gunned them. Basically, if you saw the video, they basically gunned them down like a hunted deer. So, and black people was mad about it. What's worse is if you this happened in like February and it's
Yeah.
May, and now they're in jail for murder without bail and all the other stuff. But a lot of people felt like it shouldn't have even took this long, and it's like a lot of people just like black people feel hunted and all the other stuff, and we getting all the rights. Father, I'm gonna start with you. How do you feel about the whole situation?
Um, I couldn't sleep when I saw it. I
Really?
saw the video and I couldn't sleep because
They had a
the dude
video?
was 25. Yeah, yeah. He was
I'll send you the video.
25. I'm 25 right now, so like, it's, whew, man, that was not an easy watch at all. Because, like Ray pointed out, he literally got hunted. And then the worst part of that was apparently the footage was held by the prosecution. From what I've read, the footage was held by the prosecution, and it's just now getting out. So the fact that it sat there and sat there and sat there until it went viral, and now these two are arrested for murder when they should have been arrested when the dude was killed in the first place. But it just goes to show you the hypocrisy of the justice system in America, where black people are seen as like subhuman still to this day.
Well,
Even
it's the justice
even
system.
yeah, yeah, you're right. And I mean, it's the same thing with the medical field too, because there was a lot of testimonies from black women, especially, that when they go for checkups or like when they have when they have issues, they get treated like, oh, you just capping, or like your pain isn't really that much of a priority in like this system and shit like that. So it just goes to show you, like, all of this shit is like intertwined with each other. Whether you have the justice system, whether you have the medical community, educate, like, all of that shit is equally racist. And if you there was actually some pictures coming out, like the dude, like the father, because it was a father and son, and the father was he met the DA, and he was an avid Trump supporter as well. There was pictures with him with Trump hats and shit like that. So he was, he was clicked in with like the what can I say, like the politics of Georgia. He met I think he met like the head of police in his county and shit like that. And like I said earlier, he met with he met with like some representatives of the state and shit like that. So yeah, this is it's just now getting out that he done killed somebody. He got blood on his hands along with his son, and now all of a sudden he's arrested. Whatever. It just goes to show you that what we've been saying every time is that, like, black men especially, like, can't do shit without somebody thinking that we're a threat. And whenever we go outside, we always have to remind ourselves that we're at war. That's just what it is. You might not come home when you go out, unfortunately.
Clarence, I sent you the video. I don't know if you watched it or not, but I do want to say this. And I'm not saying this from a political standpoint, but I'm saying this from a black standpoint. I think we need to and I think we need to arm ourselves with guns, not to retaliate, but to protect ourselves. Like, it's obvious. I know a lot of people are against guns, and I understand if you are against guns. I was once against guns until I had to got accustomed to it and like know how to carry around a gun safely and all that other stuff. But at the same time, I feel like we need to protect ourselves, because there's too many times where I've seen videos of an unarmed black man and an armed white person, not just or anybody with a gun, and like I feel like they take advantage of them because they're unarmed, and especially when it comes to white people and black people. There's too many times where I've seen like white people. Well, fuck it. Let me just tell. There's just too many times when I seen white people just like come at black people, and we don't have no arm. We're like we can't even do nothing. Like we can't breathe. We can't just go mind our own business. We be minding our own business, and then like for history, and like it's even in history, like well, mind our own business, and white people just come fuck with us, and then all of a sudden they get this shit with their egos, and then try to want to gun us down or try to embarrass us and all that other shit. I get sick of hearing this. I was just like, I feel like we need to arm ourselves just like the Black Panthers did, because even then when they was policing the police, like not only that they got guns, they knew how to use them, they knew when to bring them, when to not bring them. It's like I want to see our people being protected, and sometimes we do got to protect ourselves, we got to protect our families and all that other stuff. Because I like it's just like to me, this is just history repeating itself. And I know people are trying to get rid of gun laws, but to me, this to me, a lot of these videos, it's just to me, it furthers the point that we do need gun laws for ourselves, just to protect ourselves, not to retaliate. And I'm gonna say this again, not to retaliate, but to protect ourselves, because like this is getting sickening. And I've said this, and I'm pretty sure Father done said this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people agree. There's going to be a point where black people, we're not going to care who, we're not even going to care we're outnumbered. We're going to snap, and then we're going to like, and then somebody's going to harm the nearest white person around them. They might not even be racist. They probably don't even have a racist bone in their body, but they're sick and tired of seeing a black man getting killed by a white person or any other race that's just killing black unarmed black people, and they're just going to snap on people and all that other stuff. So it's right then that's where like this racial civil war that I don't want to pin it, but that I've been calling it myself, this racial civil war, that's when it's going to really start. And then that's when you're going to really see a lot of casualties and all that other stuff. And then that's when you're going to see people like bring the National Guard in and all that. I don't want that to happen, but for some reason, I feel like that is going to happen. I know a lot of people is like, we're not ready for a racial war or something like that because we don't know how to arm ourselves. Shout outs to Killer Mike because I know he said that. But it's going to. But to me, it's going to be a point where we're not going to care that we're unarmed. We're just tired. And then, like, you know, when like if you starve a dog, like eventually that dog's going to bite, and eventually that dog's going to bite you, or it's just like it's going to attack you, or if you like an abuser, or you know, a trap rap is going to attack and all the other stuff. Like I don't want us to get to that point, but it's inevitable we keep getting to that point because you're starting to hear people just like being black. Like we hear these stories all the time. Being black in America is like it just Father just said. Being black in America is like going to war sometimes. Like we have PTSD. Like I'm not gonna lie, me going on like when I used to ride the metro, like I'm always aware because you know people will try you and you don't never know when people are just gonna like try you or people are just gonna like fuck with you and all that other stuff. So you always on edge. I don't want our people always to be on edge. Like I would love to hear one day like a black person they can go out their house and worry about nothing. Like they can go into a neighborhood they may not know, but they just like sightseeing and like not causing no problems, just sightseeing, minding their business, just enjoying the view and like not come back with a casualty and all that other stuff. So like I'm just waiting to see. I'm just waiting to. My bad. This is my last point, and I'm just waiting to see the father and son get prosecuted, get jail for life, and all that stuff. Because them dudes should pay for what they do. Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say is that, first of all, you were like, I agree 100% with like everything that you said. We are getting to a point where black people are just gonna say fuck it, and anyone can catch the smoke, whether you did something to us or not. Everybody gonna catch it. Because we already done, I feel like we already have that energy for a lot of other groups, especially like minority groups when they try to put us in that whole people of color thing. Like we have friends that are Hispanics, we have friends that are Asian, we have friends that are, you know, all these other races. But it's gotten to a point where we're not going to fight for their people because they don't fight for us. So it may not be an individualistic thing, but it has to be a collective thing because power is reserved through a collective. So there's that. And then another thing like what we gotta understand is that even if those two white men get prosecuted and if they get like life in prison, that to me would just be like I think it's sad that I'm saying this, but the fact that that's even an option right now is it's not even really a W because you're supposed to get locked up for killing somebody who's innocent. You feel what I'm saying? You're supposed to get like they throw a book at us for less. You feel me? Niggas have gotten locked up for way less than that. So if them niggas don't get less than a death sentence, that is going to be an automatic fail. And if they do get it, that's like, and I don't want to say this because I like disagree with the notion of this, but it is the bare minimum if they get the death. If not even they get the death penalty, but if they get life in prison, that would be literal bare minimum for the shit that we've always had to endure in this country. And it's like you pointed out before, we've been in a we kind of already in a race war. Like it's been 400 years that black people were forced to serve in this country. And throughout all of those 400 years, not one of those years did they let up on us. Not one of those years did they ever give us like a break or like, gave us shit that we could use to like empower ourselves. Because the goal was always to keep black people at a level where they can't crawl out of. Now, you got your Obamas, you got your Jay-Z and Beyonce and people that really made themselves out of nothing and shit. But one common denominator out of all of those people is that they either grew up humble, grew up poor, or really had to struggle to get to where they were today. I was even watching the little Michelle Obama documentary they had on Netflix, and she was denied to Princeton. She was literally just denied to Princeton just because. They won't say, oh, it's because she's black. It's because, her kind or, them little slick ass words that they try to use to mask their race. Peace, you know what I'm saying? We try to follow the Martin Luther King way of doing things, the same shit that minorities and people of color try to do when they try to guilt us into fighting for them, but they don't follow the shit personally. It's always fuck them niggas, or they always trying to make sure that they're propped up in a position next to white mommy and white daddy so they can get some fucking tangibles that we fought for they asked to even come in here in the first place. But when it come to us getting gunned down, nobody wants to say shit. When it come to us, not like when it come to hair discrimination, when it come to colorism, when it come to Asian store owners beating black women up because they're black, when it come to that one boy who got killed by his Hispanic girlfriend's father because he didn't like the fact that she was dating a black boy, and he just died. Like when it comes to shit like that, nobody ever wants to call that shit out. But when when Hispanics are getting locked up in cages, black people were locked up in cages beforehand anyway. When Asian people are starting to get the same smoke from white people that they be getting forever, now they want to sit there and say, "Oh, help us out, help us out." Now sympathy is gone, and this is what I mean. This is what we mean when we say the energy is for us now. We're not fighting no more battles. We're not in solidarity with nobody. It's black people or nothing.
Do Asian people generally even like black people like that in the first place?
I know Chinese people in particular don't like us.
Yeah, in particular, yeah. And that's who got to do with a lot of this corona shit anyway. They talking about the Chinese government made corona or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of those little conspiracies, I think.
But they're talking about it come from China though.
Yeah.